Ooh.
Didn't see you there. Come in. Good evening. I'm Alistair Martinidis and this is Bradbury, my trusty reading companion. He actually does not read because he does not have lips. Oh. I often read aloud to him. He likes my reading voice. I would like to welcome you to Masterpiece Theatre. This evening I will be telling you about the science fiction novel Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. It was written in 1953, but the novel takes place in about 2025. Though it was written so long ago, the author was able to give a reasonable prediction of what the future is like now. It is a cautionary tale about destroying books, about listening to loud music and driving too fast and watching way too much TV. This book shows the lack of interacting with real human beings versus on social media. The protagonist of this wonderful novel is Guy Montag. He is a fireman who burns books for a living. Mildred, his wife, who is brainwashed and feels shallow and depressed. Beatty is Guy's boss, who tries to talk Guy into not reading, although he runs into Clarice, who is Guy's 17-year-old neighbor, who is adventurous and loves nature and to read books. Faber is an English professor who wants to help Guy prove to the world that books are good. A fellow book lover named Granger is an outcast in society who leads a colony of book lovers who memorize literature to pass on their time in the world. Sparky, get out of here. I'm reading. This novel revolves around the idea of a world where firemen do not put out fires, but instead start them to burn all literature. One of these firemen is Guy Montag. He is blind to what he is doing until one day he bumps into his young neighbor Clarice, and they take a long walk home full of questions she is wanting to know. After being asked all of these questions, Montag starts to wonder about books and what they could bring to his life. He starts to steal them from the fires he starts and hides them in his air conditioning vent. Oh, jeez. He starts to read and is caught by his wife many times, who is too brainwashed by the telly to know what is going on. Excuse me, I must use the loo. Guy goes on to share his love of reading with an old retired professor named Faber. They devised quite an intricate plan to plant books in firemen's houses in order to bring back literature and show how hypocritical the world actually is. Aged to perfection. Montag's wife tries to commit suicide due to how shallow her life is, but she fails and then burns their house down, which is full of the books Montag hides. Montag resists his arrest and burns his old boss to death and flees. Mechanical dogs chase after him, and thankfully he destroys the first and is able to get away from the second by hiding at Faber's house. After meeting with Faber and changing his clothes to disguise his smell, he decides to float down the river until he finds a group of outcasts. When he finds them, he discovers that they are fellow book lovers and plan that when the world is destroyed by the war that is going on, they will teach literature, which they've memorized, and spread it to the new world. What a shame. In giving this much thought, I have found that there are three main themes in this novel, one of which is that technology is able to replace human interactions if we misuse it. Another theme is that taking away books can threaten the freedom of thought. A third and the final theme is that it is important to have your own ideas rather than to conform to society's guidelines. I adored this novel, and I would recommend it to all of my friends, including William and Kate and the Duke and Duchess of Transylvania. They would like it too because the novel is very relatable to modern day life. For example, many young adults are often seen spending most of their time buried, I say buried with emphasis, in their devices, indoors, versus being outside on a beautiful day. Isn't that funny, Bradbury? So once again, thank you for joining me this evening. Next week we will discuss another great classic, The Crucible. Off we go. Our viewers must be getting to the reading.